Hi, my name is Ayush. I'm working as a student developer for Google Summer of Code 2017 in the project OpenMRS Android Client. My primary mentor is Avijit and my backup mentor is Rafael. Firstly, I will give a basic overview of my today's presentation. So, we will start with the app demo, then we will move on to Vitals history chart, and then I will tell you about the feedback bug report system. After that, the minor visual improvements which we did in the app, and at the end, about the forms which we fixed on the server. So, let's start with the app demo. So, basically, having an awesome app with a lot of cool features is of no use if the end user doesn't know about them or finds them too difficult to use. And this mostly happens because in today's time, no one reads the long app descriptions. So that's why we added the app demo, which will help the user to know about all the features that the app has to offer. For this, I used a library named Showcase View, which is open sourced on GitHub. Now, let's move on to Vitals history chart. The charts can be found in the patient dashboard. A new tab named Charts, as you can see in the screenshot, is added. The reason behind adding the charts was it helps to better visualize the vitals of a patient. A sudden spike from the normal behavior of the patient's vitals can be easily seen through the charts. And the library I used is MP Android chart by Phil J. And this library is quite good because it makes the chart more interactive. One can just use two fingers to zoom in or zoom out of the chart and can visualize it in many other ways. One can also drag around the x-axis or y-axis of the chart also using in this library's charts. Now let's have a look at the feedback bug report system. Let's face it, while using any Android app, the most annoying thing one can see is the force close dialog box. And that is inevitable. Some or the other bug may be faced in the app and you cannot do anything about it. What one can do is replace that dialog box, which we did here. So, whenever the app crashes for any reason, the user is presented with the dialog box in the screenshot. And first two options of the dialog box are self-explanatory. Restart just restarts the app, close just closes the app. And when the user taps the third option, that is send report and restart, what will happen is the Android system will open the default email client in the phone, and a detailed report about the crash will be added in the body along with the device specifications like model, OS, etc. And the OpenMRS log will be attached as a text file to the body with a proper subject line already filled in, and then user just can just write the email address with whom he or she wants to share the logs so that one can debug the app properly. Now let's move on to the visual improvements. So we did some of the basic improvements in the UI of the app. For example, as you can see on the left side of the screenshot, left screenshot, um, the edit box for the numerical values having a specific range are replaced with sliders so that the one can easily type in add the details, and also the normal edit text has been replaced with a text input layout which looks more pretty than more pretty than the edit text. Now let's look on to the final part of the presentation, fixing the forms. Till now, one has to manually add the JSON data to the forms on the server, and then app fetches that data and displays it properly. So the main problem arose when the DevTest server, which I was currently using, crashed, and it halted my work for couple of days. And I got the another server URL to test, but the forms were not present, and I was not able to do any work without the forms at that time. So then we thought like the app should create the JSON forms on the server if they are not present, and now the app basically does it. what happens if the server returns a null in the app in the JSON data, then app just sends a post request to the server URL with the proper data which is already saved in the app code, and the forms are created, and it basically works fine after that. So it saves a lot of trouble for the end user um, who is handling the servers and all. So that's it for now. Thank you for hearing out my presentation. Have a great day.